Hi, my name is Angela Fagg with Messengers of Truth. Today is June 25th at approximately, it's 9:33 p.a.m. It's not p.m. It's morning still. 9:33 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, coming to you live from my back porch in Cape Coral, Florida. It's only 50% humidity and almost 90 degrees. I'm trying to do it so you can see the little red line. See? And then 50% humidity. That's the temperature here last night. It was almost 90% humidity. And it never rained. Sons of bitches. Anyway, so we have a lot going on in the world. There's things like I just noticed. I didn't just notice it. It just happened. What am I talking about? I'm going to be reiterating some things because certain things are starting to happen now, like the Ring of Fire. The Ring of Fire is an area where that's what they call it, is because it's in the Pacific, and it's all these volcanoes that go around in a circle. Now, right now, the Pacific is heating up, and it has been, and that's what they're calling the El Nino. It's a Godzilla, so I guess it wasn't a real, might be a real reptile. We never know. We haven't made it there yet. Anyways, but they're calling it Godzilla, and it's very interesting. In Northern California, they had some earthquakes. I don't remember the numbers. And in Venezuela, they had 2 earthquakes back to back, and I believe it was the northern or southern part of Japan that also had a earthquake, and that's Venezuela. I don't believe is in the Ring of Fire, so don't quote me on that one, but California and Japan are. What would we do if Yellowstone blew? They say it. I mean, they give you all these numbers, right? 1.5 million years ago, the Yellowstone blew and it did this. It's like, come on, dude. How do you even know that? Well, carbon dating, Angela. It's carbon dating. We know how to. Okay, so who told you that X was 1 million years old? A computer? Look, I just got questions, all right? And I think that's a feasible question. Well, what I do know is these volcanoes have been slowly erupting more and more each year. So that's a new thing. And by the way, the phone shouldn't be getting hot. I didn't make my video yesterday because of when I watched the video on Rumble. It was so messed up. it like totally unsynced and everything else. So I wanted to wait until I got my fan, and it didn't come in until yesterday evening. And then I was like, I'll just wait until the morning time, which today's Thursday, right? Yep, today's Thursday. So anyways, I'll do another broadcast tomorrow because I missed yesterday. So I do got the new fan, so we shouldn't be overheating now. And it's pretty neat. It's a whole get up. I should have, I'll take it. I don't know how to do it. Anyways, moving on. So the Ring of Fire, there's several things that they do call the Ring of Fire because I looked this up because I didn't know what that was. At first, I'm like, am I supposed to read a book that's called the Ring of Fire? What's going on here? So I looked it up. There's also a place in Canada that they call the Ring of Fire, and a few other places that I don't remember. I just looked at the places that would be closest here. I'm sweating real bad. So it's something to pay attention to. Now, I also noticed in what's happening right now with our weather pattern is it's going to be getting very hot. What's wild about it is it's probably going to get hotter in Canada than it is here in Southwest Florida. But the other side of America, North America, because Canada is attached to us, because Canada is going to be ours one day. And what I mean is we're going to free those people. We're going to stop the murder that's going on there and all that stuff. And so they're kind of important because they're attached to us. Anyways, moving on. So it's going to be real hot on one side of the country, and then it's going to be like it might be snowing in the mountains in Washington and in Montana and stuff like that in the middle of the summer. It's probably happened before. I don't know the history of that. I'm just telling you what's happening right now. And it's probably going to go a little bit further than that because, like fire and ice, it's going to be extremely hot on one side of the country and the other side of the country is going to be cooler. So we'll see how that goes along. There's been flooding all over the place. And I think it was Los Angeles. There was a fire and they're telling people to keep your windows closed. It was some kind of chemical building. And they're telling the people to turn their air conditioners off and keep their windows closed because the toxic fumes are so bad that, they're probably all going to get cancer and everything else. I didn't get the gain turned down on my microphone here, so you'll still be able to hear me drink. But you can hear the birds, I think it's going to be a big deal, if they, if those volcanoes start to erupt. That'll cause a lot of problems. And also, what they say about the weather, usually when it gets this hot, that means the wintertime will be even worse, is what they say. Now, is that true or not? I do not know. But I guess we don't have no choice but to find out. In time, we will find out. Before I start these lives and everything, I sit there and I think about different things that I would say or not, but I kind of just wing it as I go because that's the way it should be. We should just, come off of what we think at the present time because sometimes things can change, but we have a lot of things that are going on right now and we have no clue what's really, we have some clue what could happen and what couldn't happen. It's just, look, a lot of these people don't understand that there's some people that are out in the country and in the swamps and they just go to the city to get their groceries or whatever, okay? There's a whole bunch of country people all over the South. And these boys and these women are getting sick of it. They're getting sick of being told who they should and shouldn't like. They're being sick of being told about their skin color and about these people going around and beating up old ladies and children. And they just beat a guy to death. I forgot where it was. They beat him. They beat a teenager to death. They beat him to death because he was white and they were robbing him. And it was some black kids. Just let that sink in. So as we go through this and you keep hearing this, people are getting sick of it. They're getting really, really sick of it. And that's because it's ridiculous. Nobody here had a slave. If you want to go back to Africa, you'll see what slavery's like because it's still happening there. But you don't talk about that. You don't want to talk about how they literally are putting kids in burlap sacks. It's a real life thing. Use your fingers and start trying to look stuff up. That was a couple of years ago that made it through the alternate news. And you're complaining about things here in America? You have no clue what some of these people are living through. You have no clue that they have no electricity, no running water. And this goes for several different countries. And you're privileged just to be in this country. Yeah, is it bad? Are they trying to control everything that we do? Have they been controlling everything? Yeah, they have been. Are they going to keep going? Yes. Yes, they are. But you complain about a country that has done nothing but given to you. And that means your neighbors. Where do you think that money comes from, the government? You think they just pull it out of the air? They don't pull it out of the air. It's every single working person. Every single working person. Besides the ones making cash, is paying taxes. Some are paying double taxes because they got state tax and then they got federal tax. In Florida, we don't have a state tax. We have a sales tax that's high in different areas. They can, like, one area may have a higher sales tax than another one, like counties. Okay? But every single working person here is paying for other states. Because how it works is all the federal money goes up there and then they decide where it goes, to which state. And I don't think that's right. Because I can guarantee you most of the people in Florida don't want to be paying for someone else's abortion. They don't want to be paying someone else's medical bills that are just not even wanting to take care of themselves anyways. I don't know if you've seen it, but you've got all these people that they complain because food stamps is not going to allow them to buy junk food. Food stamps wasn't made for you to eat your junk food. It was made to feed people that were actually poor and couldn't get any money at the time. But all these different people think that they deserve it. They deserve to get their rent paid. They deserve all this other shit, and they don't. Nobody deserves anything. You have to work for what you have. And this is me kind of working for what I have. This right here, I don't get paid for this. But it's not the easiest thing to do, to get up and talk in front of people that you don't know. And that's the way it is. But I do things. Listen, I can cook. I can cook real good. And I've had lots of jobs. But a lot of my jobs I've had have been cash under the table. I know some people are going to be like, well, that's just not right, Angela. Yeah, well, guess what? It's not right for the man to be taking so much money from me. When it's over $100 a week, that's too much, dude. When you got, how many people we have here in America now? Like 320 million or some shit like that. So think about it. $100 out of everybody's paycheck. We'll say 200 million. Okay, just because there are lots of kids and stuff. 200 million people in America, $100 being taken out of their check every week. That's a lot of money. Just $1 would be $200 million. You see where I'm going with this? Should we be feeding people in other countries? It's going to be a hard line and people aren't going to like this, but no. Because as of right now, we have enough homeless people and our veterans, and they're just on the streets, living in the woods and stuff. Now, some people do prefer to live that way. I know somebody who does. He prefers to live that way. But that's on them. But there's other people that prefer not to live that way. And because they're on fixed incomes and all the rent and everything else has gone up, they can't afford anything anymore. And then when people talk about, well, the rent's going down, ain't nobody's rent going down. My landlord didn't call me and say, hey, we're gonna drop the rent this next year. Well, I'll find out in August because that's when we sign our lease again. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think anybody's going to say, well, I'm just going to start dropping my, like, landlords, because that means they'll be losing out on money. And you say, well, apartment buildings, Angela, and this and that. I want to see the actual proof, because I can guarantee you in those apartment complexes, it's not going down either. All the people that have leases, nothing's changing for them. It won't change until the lease is up. And then it probably will still go up. The only thing that's changing is for people that are living in government housing. And how long do they live in government housing? Who are we paying for to live in these places? Are these people capable of working? I mean, I can understand helping old retired people out, but shouldn't families be doing that? Families should be doing it. We talk about how they break up the families with the children and the men and the women, but everybody forgets about the old people. And then they don't even know what's happening to most of them, especially ones that don't have family. And then it doesn't even matter if you have family because they use the courts against you. You understand that, right? It's happened. You can look up these stories of guardianships and how people have been abused and everything is taken from them. They're moved out of their house. Their stuff is gotten rid of, and family members weren't able to come in fast enough because it was all done behind their back. They really like to do it to people that have dementia, even in the beginning stages, because that's what happened to my grandmother. And I made the news with it, and I really should find the story and play it. But I don't have a studio that's set up all the time. And I'm not complaining. I'm just telling you my situations, why I do it from the phone. You know how much it irritates me to hear some young black man talk about hurting women and children and old people? Oh, you really got to go for the old people and the women. You didn't hear that little son of a bitch say, oh, I'm going to go for some men. And he's a little scrawny. I wonder if his granny knows he made that video. Because someone needs to tell his granny so his granny can whoop his ass. Because grandma probably ain't playing with none of that. And it don't look like he was in the passenger seat of a car. He wasn't in the driver's seat. He was in the passenger seat. It's just, it's not right. And then all these people, and some of these black people, they want to say, well, you know, it happened to us. When? Not in my lifetime. I didn't see it here, and I'm from the South. The dirty, dirty South. You know, there used to not be big fights like that at spring break all the time either. It may be one or two or something, but not like all-out brawls. You know, you moved to Florida because you wanted a better life, because you didn't want the government telling you to get vaccines or telling you this or telling you that, but yet you let your little assholes run around wild here. You don't, what you're not getting is that people are getting sick of it. And one of your little kids, because that's what they are, anybody under 20 is a little ass kid, is going to come up on the wrong person. And they're going to get shot. Because that's what's going to happen. Because that's Florida. Period. People aren't going to start playing around with it. You're going to try to carjack the wrong person and get in the car with them, and they're going to wreck you and kill you because they don't care anymore. They're sick of it. They're sick of their people being hurt is what it is. They're sick of watching people's businesses be burnt down. And they're, you know, these people aren't taught, okay, because your parents aren't teaching you or school. We know school's just letting everybody go through that. But they're not being taught that these businesses don't get insurance money tomorrow. It's a whole long process. And sometimes because so much has happened, some of them aren't even getting their insurance and they're losing their whole business. So you're helping the deep state out is what you're doing. You're helping by everything that you're doing. You're helping the deep state out. You're helping the elites break our country apart, and you don't see it. I don't like war, period. I don't think that we should be fighting in any war for any country. I don't give a damn what the country's problem is. Right now, if I was the leader, if Angela was President Fag, that's what I'm going to make them all call me, Fag, Miss Fag, I would be shutting our bases down and bringing all of our stuff back and bringing all of our military and army and everybody back to America. That's what I would be doing. And I'd be setting our ships up all around America. That's what I would be doing. It's like Risk. You don't wear yourself, like, have you ever played the game Risk? You know, it's a war game. You don't run yourself thin and try to take the other country and you ain't got enough troops and then all of a sudden they wipe you out and they win. You don't want that. And that's what we've been doing, is we help everybody else out but ourselves. And that's idiocracy. Where does all this money go? How do these people get all these billions and billions of dollars and where our deficit keeps going up? Obviously, there's not somebody doing good with our money. So they need to be fired. And in any real world, they would be fired for, you know. The movies in our country have turned complete crap because there is no creativity. Our buildings are turning gray and black and ugly. I mean, here, everything used to be colorful because I live in the tropics, okay? And that's why people move here, for all the colorful stuff, the different kinds of plants, the palm trees, and it's all turned into shit. It literally doesn't look good. We should be, as an empire, right? One, we shouldn't be giving nobody any money. They should be giving us money, and they should be giving us stuff. Because that's how it should work. When King Solomon was building the temple, didn't all those people want to bring him stuff? He did stuff for them, and they did stuff for us. What are they doing for us? Helping our elites rape babies? Is that what they're doing for us? Or are they using our facilities so they can get more babies to kill, rape, murder, stab to walls? Just in the Epstein stuff alone, you've seen how much stuff that they're doing. Now, could you imagine what they're not letting you see? I lived out in New Mexico in a town called Truth or Consequences for a little while, and I worked at this bar. And there was this old cowboy that came in there all the time. His name was Harley Paul. I'm only saying his name because he's dead now. And he was his rancher. But he didn't have his ranch anymore, so he worked on other ranches. And what's that called? It's when you move the herd for feeding and stuff. That's what he used to do. He would move the herd and he would sleep there and stuff. And Tim Turner came up because his nephew had followed me from the Elephant Butte Inn down to the Pine Knot. And they're like, do you know who that is? I'm like, no, he was up at Elephant Butte having some drinks and stuff. And they're like, oh, that's Ted Turner's nephew. Is it Ted Turner or Tom Turner? I don't know the guy's name, whatever. And, you know, the cable guy, and I was like, oh, well, good for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't give a shit. I don't even know why he came down here. He's kind of creepy. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, well, this is what he used to call me. He's a big old fella. He says, well, Angel, I have to tell you, them Turners are no good. I won't even work on his ranch or move his cattle. I don't do nothing, no work over there. They don't let you leave. They don't let you leave. I'm like, what? They don't let you leave? He's like, nope. They want you to stay there. I said, oh. He's like, I won't work for them. And then one of the other, it was a driller. He drills wells. He went over there. I don't know what he said to the guy, but he left and I never saw him again. These were all my regular customers that I saw pretty much every time I worked because they were always at the bar. There was only like one regular bar in the whole town. You know, like it's just a bar, honky tonk, whatever you want to call it, because Friday and Saturday nights they did dancing, the two-step and not the ghetto two-step. But why would somebody not want to work at a place because they don't let you leave? It doesn't seem right. There's a lot of things that just don't seem right, that don't add up, you know? Like the millions of people that go missing every year, hundreds of thousands, sorry, probably didn't get to a million or they don't report on all of it. But hundreds of thousands of people go missing out of our national parks all over America every single year. Children, hundreds of thousands of children go missing in our Department of Family and Children, foster care, adoptions out. They go missing all the time. And I'm not even including all the children that went missing during the Biden reign. That was probably close to a million children that went missing. That'll never be seen again. Most of them are probably dead. Things working pretty good. 26 minutes in, and I'm not getting any. It's not even warming up. It's a little warm over there, but not too warm. I can move it over some. Anyways, it's a hot day today. It's going to be super hot. But people up north are going to be even hotter because a lot of those people, they don't have air conditioners. And I don't know if a lot of people know this, but we pull a lot of electricity from Canada. A lot. The northern states do. A whole bunch. So, the point being, if they piss off Canada too much, they're probably going to cut the electricity. And when the war comes, because it's coming, and I know a lot of people are going to be like, no, Angela, war is coming to America. It's coming. Things will be uncovered. And I'm not trying to because I don't like sounding like these other people, you know. Things are going to be uncovered that it's going to shock everybody. It'll feel like straight betrayal. And because it is. But all this stuff has to come out. And it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt a lot of people. And there's people right now that are realizing that, you know, there's people realizing right now that there's people right now that are realizing, women and boys that lived on the streets when they were younger, that it's a possibility that they were taken for a little while. When they had that movie come out with, who is that guy? It's, anyways, where they take girls and then they drug them up and then they don't have any memory. A lot of people are seeing that movie right now and it's shocking them. Not right now, but when it came out and into now, and it's shocking them, and it's kind of doing some damage to them because they're like, well, I did go, I was disappeared for a little while, and I don't know where I was, but I just figured I went on a bender, you know. I want to be a kind person. I really do, but when I get angry of things that there's nothing I can do about it, it still goes back to the serenity prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. If you can't survive up north in the cold with no power, you need to leave. I don't know what to tell you on anything else than that, but for some reason, it just, things don't feel right, dude. Something's up, and I can't put my finger on it. And I know why, is because I don't talk to anybody about these things. And when you're able to talk to somebody that has knowledge on things of this, on these matters, it becomes more clear. It's easier because then you can understand what certain things mean, because some of it I just don't understand, so I don't want to say it, because one, I also have the belief that you can bring things about with your words. I mean, look at what, I'm not saying I'm God, but look at what God did with his words. You know what I'm saying? And it's great sorrow. And it's coming. And some of us have already felt it. And there's people out there that never felt it before. People are going to find out that the government killed their family. Because it's the truth. You think that it's just euthanasia in other countries, but they've been doing it here for a while. Everything is being poisoned. They're going to make... Colorado is releasing gay fish to make all the other fish gay. What's that cause? 2 boys can't have babies, bro. So that means there'll be no more trout in Colorado. And how far and what streams does that go? Are they going to let it in the Rio Grande, which goes all the way down into Mexico? You see, they're doing things to affect all of us. And a lot of people can't even get their heads out of their ass far enough to realize that it's really not a shade of your skin fight. Excuse me, I'm burping. They are causing this. They want it to be this way. And if the other people don't start realizing it, they're opening a can of worms that's not going to be good. People aren't going to be putting up with you hurting their old people and the children. I know children are getting hurt right now, but when the public or when these Muslims start doing what they're going to do, because they're going to do it, it'll start in New York City. They don't have the same morals as us. It's just like those Orthodox Jews. And maybe not all of them, but a whole great deal of them really don't like the Gentiles. They don't. Look, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you a story. I don't know if I've told it before. But my grandpa's funeral, my one brother was on a cruise and my other brother was in prison. And I was the only child there. And I was like, I don't know, 17, 16, 17, 18, 19, I don't know. I was somewhere in that age. And I was waiting for the limo and everything to show up. So I decided to go out on the back porch and smoke a cigarette. And my great uncle came out there and he was having a conversation with me. I thought it was going pretty all right at first, until he looked right at me and he said, "Don't have any bastard children like your mother did." I'm like, wow. Well, okay there, guy. I'm the bastard child she had. Let that sink in. Somebody, I'd never even met him before. It was my grandpa's family, and we weren't as friendly with them as my grandmother's family. I didn't see them I'd never seen this guy before. Maybe at the Jew family assumes that whatever. They could be real assholes. And they don't believe in Jesus. They don't think he was a Messiah. Oh, he was just a prophet. He was a bad prophet at that. Okay? So I got something. When you see some Muslims, they don't eat pork. That's why you do it. So the Iran war is off. It's on again. Nobody's getting blown up right now, supposedly, but they probably did last night. It's like this. Say you're hanging out in the neighborhood. You're a kid. You want to beat them up. Do you think that anybody else is going to beat them up for them? No. If you want to do something, you go handle your business. Don't be bringing me into your shit. I am going to come down and watch, though. I also grew up in a different time than what's going on right now. It seems like a way different time. A time where kids were outside. We weren't allowed to be in the house all the time. And I had no air conditioner. You did not want to be in the house all the time to begin with. You wanted to be out somewhere. Go to the pool to go swimming. We had 2 swimming pools in my neighborhood. In the trailer park I grew up in. We didn't have the choice of all this other stuff that these kids have. Yeah, there was video games, but it wasn't the first priority. We were thinking about, as we were getting old, going to the beach, going to spring break, doing things. Most of these kids talk shit while they're online. They've never been punched in the face because they haven't been out riding bikes or doing anything. So that means they've never gotten a skin knee. They don't know what pain is. And I'm not saying that, oh, well, we should make them have pain. What I'm saying is they don't understand it. They've never had a skin knee. They've never fallen out of a tree. There's a lot of kids like that right now, and they're shooting off at the mouth. Kids or anybody under the age of 20. I like to take it up to 25 because I think we're all still pretty stupid at the age of 25. Because I remember being 25 and I was still pretty stupid. But they're going by what they're being taught in these schools. And then their parents aren't wanting to stay in these Democrat areas, so they're moving to areas like Florida and other places, and they're wilding out here. And then their kid ends up in jail for a long period of time. Because what do we have? I think it's 10, 20 to life. If you brandish a pistol here on somebody else, automatically it's either 10, 20, or life. You're starting out with 10 years. No, nobody wants that. Well, at least I don't want that. And a lot of these people, on the other side of the aisle that aren't racist, they're not any of this stuff that they've been told that they are for all these years, because they're not, are just getting tired of it. They're getting sick. They're the ones that own guns. They're the ones that know the consequences to their behaviors. And pretty soon they're going to be willing to take those consequences because they're sick of it. They've seen videos of grandma, little Asian grandma, being beat up by 3 black boys. She was in a wheelchair. Shouldn't it be that we should be against anybody that's beating up anybody? If it was a whole bunch of white kids that did that, they need to be punished. Anybody who thinks that it's okay to hurt other people for just because it's funny, because you want to make a video, means that you should go probably sit in jail for the rest of your life. And see, I don't think that people should be sitting in jail for the rest of their life, because I don't think that I should have to pay for your crime. Okay? Because that's what happens. We pay for your crime because you're in an institution that we pay for. So you don't know that. We also pay for the prisons. You got people on death row for 40 years. No, bro. That's not how it works. You're on death row, you get what happens. Death row means death. That means we are not going to sit here and keep making sure you get food and clean clothes and a roof over your head with air conditioning. Some places don't have any air conditioning. Why should we have to pay for that? You broke the law. I did not. You broke it. You should be done. You got the death penalty. You should be over in 24 hours. And then I saw something today about some kid. And Florida is going to vote on taking the property tax away. And it's not for vacation homes. It's not for like Airbnbs and things like that. It's for homesteaders. It's just people, you see so much stuff and it's like, should I even believe that? Like, I don't believe a lot of this stuff because I'm like, there's no way. There's no way. Wouldn't that be on the regular news? You know, like I saw this video. I almost clicked on it, but I didn't. It said a hole opened up at Yellowstone. And I'm like, bro, if that happened, that would have been on the news, right? So I didn't click on it because I didn't think it was true. There's a lot of things I don't think that are true that are going around. But I think that's because of what Big Brother, the man, is putting out on us. That's what I think it is. I think it's them calculating what we'll believe and what we won't, what we will believe and what we won't believe. Which I find very interesting. You know that a new party is going to form. It's already starting. It started a while ago. And there's people from all over, from different sides of the aisle that actually see eye to eye on everything. And they're forming together. And I'm not saying, I don't even know how to put it in words, dude. They're forming together and things are going to get rough, but we have to take our country back. It's already been taken. They started it 175 years ago. I still haven't seen very much information on all of it, but I do know that that year keeps coming up, 150 years ago and 175 years ago. And I'm not very good with computers. So, and I can't spell, and I know that, you know, someone out there is going, well, Angela, all you got to do is talk to text. Well, if you can't pronounce the word, how are you supposed to look it up? Or if you pronounce it and it's wrong. Me and Google go through some things sometimes. And then I question, well, is that even true what it's showing me? Because sometimes you have to go like 10, 12 pages back before you start getting any other kind of news besides of what they want you to see. And how much news is actually lying from all over the world? I think the misery of truth has already come out. Yeah, I called it, it's not the ministry, it's the misery, because it's miserable that they don't want to tell us the real truth. We're already living in 1984. Big Brother watches us in all of our house, in all of our houses. I don't give a damn who you are, unless you ain't got no smart nothing in your house, no TV, no nothing. When at that point, it doesn't even matter either, because they can just go by and scan your house and see where you are in it. Your car's listening to you now. Your phone's constantly listening to you. It's everywhere. And I'm not trying to get anybody to be a paranoid person, but people need to start realizing this. This isn't going to happen. It has already been happening. And another thing, I was talking about this yesterday with Baggins. So this little black box that was talked about, oh, it'll give free electricity, it'll do this, it'll do... Listen to me. My mom was a very smart person, and I know people have looked up to see, you know, where she worked at. She worked at Publix because she decided not to be an engineer anymore for her children. She's very smart. She was Beta Kappa Phi, which I have a card in there because we used to go to, tea parties and banquets and stuff when I was real young, when she was still in college. And she said, before she was dying and shit, which made no sense to me, she was adamant about it. She said, don't let the little box in your house. And she said it a few years before that, too. She said, the little black box, don't let it in your house. You can't have the little black box in your house. And I'm like, well, what's the little black box? You'll know. That's what she said. And I guess now we're going to be finding out what the black box is. She said not to let it in the house. And I believe her. Because there's a lot of things I should have listened to her. And I didn't because I thought she was crazy. At that time, you couldn't take a phone and talk to somebody else. You weren't making videos with your phone. You know, I think the first flip phone that came out with pictures and videos, but I didn't pay attention to any of that stuff back then because I just thought it was poo cocky, to tell you the truth. Why can't people meet each other face to face? Why does everybody have to talk online? I mean, like, someone talks smack to you online. It's not like you can reach through there and smack them. That was my theory. Like, some bitch going to talk shit to me and I'm not going to be able to lay my hands on her because I saw it going that way. This girl I knew, she used to get on there and do all these dating sites and stuff. And I'm like, bro, you're going to get murdered. And then, you want a good movie to watch? It's called Strangeland. You want to scare some people? Watch that movie. It's about the internet and about how these sick people use it to kidnap children. But hey, you just let them keep staying on everything and talking to different people online that you have no clue what they're doing. Well, little Johnny's gone. Well, what was he doing on the internet? Oh, he was on all these sites. Well, which one has to meet up with him? See, they're not going to think about that. What is it? By the Snyder guy. Strangeland. It was in the late, I think it was 1998 it came out. It was either 1998 or 1999. There was some good years. Anyways. But you should watch it. Because that's all it's about, the internet and how they steal children off the internet and all these. It's weird, dude. They catch the guy at the end. There you go. Ruin the movie for you. So now I question the guy who wrote that movie. Were they already doing that then? You know, like, was it something he made up or is it something he already knew about? Because I literally am questioning that. Because how? And it's like they laugh in our faces. Like, ha, you can't, you don't know what happened to you. Yeah. And they're sick. So the Ring of Fire, fish are gay. You know, they were turning they turned the frogs gay. Now they're turning the fish gay. Everything is all messed up, dude. There's something else that I saw, nature-wise, like just in nature. I was like, what in the hell is that? Now I can't remember. I think I'm rounding out right now. And I didn't know if I was going to pray or if we were going to read anything out of the Bible. Or I brought it with me this time just to make sure. Maybe we should. Maybe we should see. I can smell my grill. My grill is right here. Look. My grill is right there. See? I use real wood. Real wood. That's what I cook with. Mesquite and cherry. I like them together. It's because I'm a professional. I'm not a professional. I'm a professional shit talker. This is Habakkuk 2:2-4. I have this highlighted. I don't even know why, but I guess we'll find out when I'm done reading it. Then the Lord answered me and said, write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so that a runner may read it. For there is still a vision for the appointed time. It speaks of the end and does not lie. If it seems to tarry, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay. Look at the proud. Their spirit is not right in them, but the righteous live by their faith. Moreover, wealth is treacherous. The ignorant do not endure. They open their throats wide as Shiloh. Like death, they never have enough. They gather all nations for themselves and collect all peoples as their own. Huh. Well, that's pretty interesting. That's kind of what they're doing right now, right? Collecting people as their own. They're deciding where everybody should be at. Oh, you still don't know why Muslims are being pushed everywhere? You know that they're easier to control. The Muslims are. You think they aren't, but they've been controlling them now for decades. They've been getting them to go into war. They pay them to go into war. They pay them to blow up themselves because they know that what their prophecy says, something about some virgins in heaven. You're not getting no virgins, all right? I'm going to tell you what you're going to get. You're going to go to hell, and you're going to get tortured for a while until Judgment Day. And then you're going to go into the lake of fire, into darkness, and never come back. So I'm going to read this. I'm going to read it again, just because I think that's the right thing to do. I'm trying to be more clear because I know that the way my mind works, I go back and forth a lot. Squirrel. Anyways, so this is Habakkuk 2:2-5. Then the Lord answered me and said, write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so that a runner may read it. For there is still a vision for the appointed time. It speaks of the end and does not lie. If it seems to tarry, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay. Look at the proud. Their spirit is not right in them, but the righteous live by their faith. Moreover, wealth is treacherous. The ignorant do not endure. They open their throats wide as Shiloh. Like death, they never have enough. They gather all nations for themselves and collect all peoples as their own. You know, we really have to think about those things. And what kind of wealth are they talking about? Are they just talking about people that are just trying to, have a house with a swimming pool? Because that's not really wealth. I think they're excuse me. I think that they're talking about people that are extremely wealthy and are just trying to collect the people to themselves. Collecting all the gold and the silver and all the other, and the copper. Excuse me. I'm getting the hiccups. And they're causing war all over the place because they want things to run for them. And on the truth, it's Whitey who gives them the hardest time. Yeah. They gave up a little bit and went and took Australia so they can make Australia their prison planet, their prison island. And that's where they started to send more of their criminals, that they were their criminals. They probably weren't real criminals, okay? But anybody that went against the crown was a criminal. Well, I say we take those crowns and break them. We make a whole bunch of jewelry and just give it out to everybody. Everybody. Everybody gets a piece. And we start with the poor people. I'm serious. It's time for them to get out of our country, too. It's time. And that's the type of leader we need. We need a leader who's not going to crumble under Israel or any other country or any other more giving money out to the whole entire world. That's done. There's no more people being homeless. And you want to know how that gets fixed? And I know some people, well, why would you want to just give them a tiny house? Because some people, that's all they want. It's just a little piece of something that's theirs. And those are the people that need a home. You give it to them and you teach them. You can't just think that there's so many people that don't know anything anymore. They can't even get around without GPS. We need a leader that's going to put people in jail and not hesitate. Not be worried if they're going to kill your family or not, because they're damn sure going to try. They're going to try to poison you. They're going to try everything they absolutely can. And that's what causes war in America. War is coming. It is coming. Just make sure you're in the right state when it starts. This goes out to everybody. And don't think you can just come here to Florida and while out and do whatever you want, because the hammer's coming down. It's coming down. You got to remember about the Ring of Fire. Another thing I haven't said in a while is you need to buy as much canned goods and dry foods that you can afford. I haven't said it in a while, but you need to not give up on that. Dry beans, rice. I know that the rice, everything is pretty much poison, but you got to be able to have enough to get through what's coming. And buy seeds, organic seeds, non-GMO seeds, because when they're non-GMO and they're organic, then you can take the seeds from the vegetables that you grow and you could regrow them again. There's so much that people don't even know on a regular, they don't even know that they can do that. Some people don't even know you can take an avocado seed and grow a tree from it. It's right there. That's what I did. That's how Avi came about. People don't know that. They don't even know how to make anything that's not microwavable, which is absolutely a horrible. I don't have a microwave. And if I did, it'd just be used to put my bread in it. I don't participate in microwaves. You should get you an Emerald 360. It's an air fryer. It's a big one. It roasts. It does everything. I was going to give a commercial for it, but I'll stop because I'm getting hot. And the network's starting to come in and out, so that means the video is going to get messed up again. That's enough. Ring of Fire, canned foods, dry foods. Be prepared for any storm that's coming. If you can, buy yourself a little propane burner stove, because you'll need that. A lot of people don't know how to cook on regular fires. I do. Anyways, all right. I don't think this was a very good video. Maybe it was. Low energy today. All right. Anyways, it was a mosquito I was going to swat.